Hello, it's Andrae Battles, and I am a life coach. Now, you've been reaching out to me through my Facebook presentations, or perhaps you've just seen a few of my YouTube videos. Either way, you felt the Spirit leading you, and I want to offer you something that will help you go just a step further in your walk with God. As your personal life coach, you will receive from me daily scriptures that will help you navigate this fly world of boys and girls. I've listened to many of you tell me that you're struggling with drugs. You're struggling in your marriages with promiscuity. Someone's cheating if you're not the one cheating. Many of you have talked about depression or dealing with childhood trauma, a plethora of issues. But this life coaching program is just what you need, and I'm here to offer it to you. And the first thing you'll get again is daily scripture and the interpretation and understanding of how to apply the scripture practically to your life. The second thing that you will get from me each day when you enter into my life coaching classes is a pep me up inspirational video. You'll get this every day from me, personalized to you for whatever issue it is that you are struggling or going through. I think that this is a great opportunity for you to be able to feel as if I'm right there with you, because you're going to be talking to me regularly. You're going to be expressing to me what it is that you're dealing with. And so when I make these coaching videos, I'm going to make them with you in mind. And the third thing that you're going to receive as a result of entering into my sessions is direct access to me at basically any time. Now, of course, I've got a life, I've got a wife, I've got children, but at the end of the day, I am here to serve you. You will have direct access. You can call me, you can text me, you can reach out to me for questions, etc., and that's what you receive. But beyond any of the practical things that I just talked about that you will receive a peace of mind. You will get away from the demonic depression. You will get away and break away from this repeated session of sin and getting back up and falling and getting back up and falling again. You get away from that. You will have the assurance of knowing that you are Christ's child and that Christ loves you, but he also has a purpose for you, because as your coach, I'm going to help you to figure out what your purpose is. This course is going to cost you only $50 a month, not per session, not per video, $50 per month. Now, if you do the math and you stop and think about that cable bill you've got, that internet bill you've got, your cell phone bill, for things that perhaps are not helping you reach your spiritual goals. Now, some of those things are important, but why would it be a problem for you to invest $50 a month in your spiritual well-being? You know what? It's not a problem. I'm here to say that whether you choose Cash App, whether you use PayPal, or you request my mailing address, we're here for you, and you have several ways in which to share those funds with us so that we can continue with the coaching that you definitely need. You guys have been reaching out. You guys have been asking. You guys have been praying with me and sharing with me your life. Well, let me enter into your life in this way. The following is an example of a training lesson or one of the pep me up videos that you will get every day. Sit back and enjoy. So here's a step-by-step guide to help you to incorporate daily devotions into your life. You need devotions. In fact, Jesus had a devotional life. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, all right, that's cool. You ain't got to believe me. But I'm about to show you right now what Jesus did if you go with me quickly to the book of Mark chapter 1 verse 35. And in the morning, rising up a great while before day, Jesus went to a solitary place and he prayed. That's what the scripture says. If devotion was important for the creator of the universe, then how much more important is it for you? So for step one, I need to explain the importance of daily devotion. Your devotional life will strengthen your faith in your God, right? I mean, you have a relationship with him, or at least you're trying to create one. That's what devotion does. If you are in a relationship with someone, you continue to build that relationship with communication. And really, that's all devotion is. It's communication with heaven. So you strengthen that relationship by communicating, by having that devotional time. You need spiritual nourishment. You need guidance. You also need peace, and you also need clarity. So these are some of the results of having daily devotion. But to do this, you're going to need to choose a time. And that's part 2 of this step-by-step process where we do engage in devotional activities. Now, I personally feel as if the morning hours are best. And my reason for saying this is because the morning sets the tone for the day. And what I either do or fail to do in the morning, I really won't ever get back. Now, I can still salvage the day, but if I begin my day with prayer and devotion, then I feel as if I have more control over me. No, I can't control the circumstances of the day, but I have more control over me and how I respond to them. So I would suggest that you set aside time in the morning for personal devotion. But irregardless of when you do decide, what's most important is consistency within your devotional life. You can't do it on Monday, skip Tuesday and Wednesday, come back on Saturday. It looks like you skipped several days there, if that's the way you're going to be doing it. And a lot of us have been doing that, and we've been wondering why we haven't been successful in fighting the temptations or having victory over these temptations in our lives. You aren't consistent in your devotional life. So there's step 2 in this step-by-step process, having a devotional time and being consistent with it. Okay, so along with having the time allotted and being consistent in utilizing that time comes also location. And this is major because sometimes we can choose to rush and just talk to God real quick while we driving to work, but you got the radio going, you're trying to balance that cup of coffee while you're driving into the job, or you're trying to do the girls' hair on their way to dropping them to school. I mean, you just got so much going on. Choose a place where you can be isolated and have intimate time with God. That could be your car if that's what you choose, but make sure you turn the radio off. It could be on your back porch or your front porch. I love having devotions out in nature. I have a window right here in my study, and in the morning there's an apple tree right outside the window. I look at that apple tree and I start focusing on my relationship, and I think about me being the tree and my roots being firmly planted in the earth being Jesus. And I just, that helps me. It just gets me going every morning. So picking a place where you can do this is crucial. That's step 3. Okay, so step 4 is pretty important. Picking devotional material. What are you going to read? Now, you can read the Bible. In fact, I encourage you to incorporate Bible reading on several days out of the week during your devotional time. But I think that you also need to start with something that's easy to go along with. And Jesus Calling, I think, is a perfect book for you to purchase. It's a devotional book. There's spaces in it for you to write your notes. There's scriptures after every devotional thought. It's one of my favorites. I've been using it for about 2 or 3 years now. It has been a great blessing to me. So step 4 involves selecting the proper devotional material. Now, step 5 is where I tell you to start small. You don't have to try and read the Bible in a month, okay? And you don't have to try and even memorize certain scriptures. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's okay. But if you put too much on yourself in the early beginning stages of your devotional life, then I think it's going to discourage you from doing it at all. Start small. That's why, again, I suggest a Jesus Calling or some other devotional book that's just one page, got a few scriptures, something that you can easily digest, even if you're in a pinch and you're pressed for time. Now, you need to establish a routine. This is step 6. And you need to be able to set particular goals for yourself along this devotional journey. So, for example, you may read a short passage in Jesus Calling, you absorb whatever it is that's been said, and then you stop and you meditate on it for about 5 minutes. And what I like again about Jesus Calling is that there are pages in the book under each devotional that has blank spaces so that I can write down perhaps what I meditated on. And that helps. It gives you some clarity, and it makes you feel as if you're gaining ground in the right direction in your devotional life. You feel like you're accomplishing something. That's what I mean by saying setting a goal. Set a goal to meditate upon each devotional thought each day, and then write out some thoughts concerning what you learned so that you can go back to them and you can see the growth process. That's step 6. Now, I'm going to tell you what step 7 is right now, and step 7 has to do with accountability. Okay, so I was a big porn addict for a long time, and at one time I downloaded this program that whenever I attempted to go onto a website that was unworthy of my attention, then it would notify that particular program and it would block me from getting there. That's called accountability. You need accountability partner, and hey, why not me, right? Reach out to me. Ask me how I can be your accountability partner. But that's step 7. You need to have somebody that you check in with regularly, or who's checking in with you, to continue to encourage you and challenge you to keep up with this journey. So step 8 is pretty realistic and practical, and that is being able to identify what distractions perhaps would get in the way of you continuing this journey or even starting it. For example, you have a lack of motivation. You may get in a spiritual funk and you feel like, man, I don't need to continue this. I ain't getting nothing out of it. You may have changed a job, so your schedule changes. Something may have changed at home, so you've got to switch some things up. And as a result of this, as you're changing your schedule, you're like, you know what? I could perhaps afford to let go of this devotional thing. It ain't that big of a deal. You know, God knows my heart. That would be the wrong decision to make. And I think that's why step 7 is important, having the accountability partner. But step 8, again, is just reinforcing, hey, what are some of the things that could stop you? I want you to write that down. What are some of the things that you know the devil could use against? And I want you to be aware of those things so that you could be prepared for them when they arise. Now, I want you to also, step 9, to practice flexibility. Your devotional time doesn't have to be rigid. And by that, I mean, it ain't got to be an hour, 2-3 hours. You know, it really doesn't need to be that way. You can allot 15-20 minutes per day. You don't have to be rigid, but you need to be consistent. All right. So that's step 9. Be consistent and practice flexibility. If you've got to adjust, if you've got to revamp and recalibrate, that's okay. But do it, and don't shrug it and say, well, it's not important enough for me to make adjustments. I'll just drop it all to begin with. No, that's not how you gain a successful devotional life. Now, step 10 is our final step, and I want you to know this step is important because when you celebrate milestones, you are showing yourself that, hey, I can do something, and here's the proof. I want you to be able to celebrate after that first week of having consistent devotion. Celebrate by going out to dinner. I mean, I don't know, or making your favorite meal. Celebrate. Get on Facebook or YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and start blogging, doing videos about your journey and help somebody else. That's another way to celebrate and another way to encourage you to keep going. Like, after I do so many weeks, I'm going to make a video, and so on and so forth. Encourage yourself, reward yourself because you're doing big boy, big girl things. Well, those are the 10 steps to help you to incorporate devotions into your life. My name is Andrae Battles. When I was 18, I had a dream 22 years ago. And in that dream, you know, God told me I'd do great things, but for some reason I decided that I was going to break away from that and I was going to do what I wanted to do. And for 22 years after that dream, I did just that. Crack, cocaine, marijuana, promiscuity. I was cheating on my ex-wife left and right, and I wouldn't slow down. Well, God says he chastises those whom he loves, and he ended up causing me to lose my leg. Really, it was my decision. It was my fault, but he allowed it. And you know, that slowed me down. And it didn't slow me down right away. I still had a lot of foolishness in me that needed to be purged, but eventually, through God's patience and mercy, I was able to come back to God and give my life to him. And I've been doing his will ever since. That's why this video is here. That's why many of you have followed me from my Facebook account, The End of Days. It's a page. Just type in The End of Days. The End of Days Kiss, as this here is KISS, keep it simple. Sweetheart, I'm so grateful for your participation. Please hit the share button. That concludes your coaching lesson for today. I pray that you be encouraged, and I'll see you again tomorrow.